Let me get something straight, like first things first. I don't want to come across that I don't agree with freedom of religion. I completely do. But let me just take a minute here. I want you guys to listen to these names and think about their families. Think about families that they could have ended up having. Shannon Lewis Adams, 25, New York, New York. Terrence E. Adderley Jr., 22, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Peter Alderman, 25, New York, New York. Telmo Alvarez, 25, New York, New York. Samantha Egan, 24, Jersey City, New Jersey. These are 5 people out of 2,751 people with a combination of from the buildings itself and the toxic dust and clouds. Now, like it's already been said, the towers were knocked down in the name of Allah. And in a Muslim mosque, they praise Allah. At the silence at Ground Zero, the families of Shannon Lewis, Terrence Adderley, Peter Alderman, Telmo Alvarez, Samantha Egan, how are they going to feel when they get there and they have to hear this? It's just a constant reminder of what happened. We talked about how far it is from Ground Zero. I think people are confused about what Ground Zero is. Ground Zero isn't just the World Trade Center. Ground Zero is all the area that surrounded that. So you could say it's 6 blocks, maybe it's 6 blocks from the towers, but it's 2 blocks from actually Ground Zero. And nobody said anything about going into that mosque and coming out of terrorists. I think that the pro speaker is just trying to make things more dramatic than they already are. I want you guys to know also that this mosque is projected to cost $100 million. $100 million. This is money that we can be spending for much more important things. Now, I'm not saying that the mosque is not important. I'm just saying that it's not needed. Now, you can still build this mosque, but out of respect for these families, out of respect for the 2,751 people that died, move it. Just move it. There are already 200 mosques in New York State already. What is the need for putting this mosque 2 blocks away from Ground Zero? 2 blocks away from Ground Zero. I just want to let you guys know how close that is. I don't think that many people, especially New Yorkers who are affected by this the most, would agree with this. In fact, 52% of New York City oppose the mosque, and 31% are in favor of it. These people are affected the most, and more than half of them agree that we shouldn't build this mosque. And we talk about freedom of religion. We talk about how everybody wants to be like America and be with the ideal thing of freedom of religion. You know what? We can build a mosque at Ground Zero when we build a synagogue in Mecca. Building a mosque at Ground Zero will cause as much controversy as it will in building a synagogue in Mecca. So I just want you guys to remember Shannon Lewis Adams, Terrence Alderley, Peter Alderman, Telmo Alvarez, and Samantha Egan. Those are 5 people. When I looked up these people online, 5 people out of a list of 2,751. I didn't get to go through 2 pages past the A's. There were 10 pages with people with the last name with A. That only contained 5 people per list. That's 50 people each. I didn't see any more because I couldn't look at it because it was too upsetting. These people were sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandfathers, grandmothers. Their families don't need to be reminded every time that they go visit Ground Zero with that silence and hearing 2 blocks away the praise of Allah. I'm not against the Muslim religion. Move the mosque. It's not needed this close to Ground Zero. You can build it, just move it. This is not needed. 2,751 people, guys. That's how many people died. 52% disagree with this. 31% of people like this. I mean, it's obvious. This mosque is not in favor of everybody in New York and everybody in the country. I yield my time to questions.
How much time is it? We have like 1:45.
You said that the mosque is $100 million, isn't it? it can be privately constructed. You said that $100 million could be used more productively. Didn't the guy just want to build a mosque or a community center?
If he wants to use his $100 million to build a mosque, move it. Putting the mosque at 2 blocks away from ground zero, that is a slap in the face to the families and the people who died. There should only be a memorial within those 2 blocks.
There were about 300 Muslims who died on 9/11. Do you care about their families?
Of course I care about their families. Of course I care about the Muslim families. I just don't think that they deserve. I think that if they want to praise Allah, they do it in the Muslim center of the mosque, and that mosque does not need to be this close to ground zero. If you want to build it, go ahead. I don't care. Just do not do it this close. If you want to build a mosque by ground zero, again, let's build a synagogue in Mecca.
Is the speaker aware that in June of 1976, about 5 or 6 months before the World Trade Centers were opened and started running, there was actually a mosque that opened up, and it's still there today. It's a very nondescript building with just one sign, and it sits about a block away from ground zero. How come nobody's making a big deal about that?
Because this mosque, or community center, as you like to call it, 15 stories. How many? 13 stories. Oh, two of those stories are areas for worship. If it's like, a little smaller, you don't have to worry about seeing it. You turn around after giving a moment of silence for your family member, and right there is a mosque.
Is the speaker aware that yes, the mosque is probably everything, but are the speakers aware that not only was there plenty of buildings destroyed, but that there was a church destroyed? Why is nobody doing anything about that, and why are we just concentrating on that mosque?
Okay, let me just answer that this way again with the freedom of religion. I think that nothing should be built there. Nothing but a memorial should be built there. Building anything dealing with religion is rude because out of those 2,751 people, there were much more than 2 religions.
Pertaining to the design of the mosque, I don't know if anyone has seen the official mock-up of what it will look like, but it kind of looks like a giant honeycomb, and it's going to be white. And honestly, I think that, does the speaker agree that this will set it apart and make it stand out for that specific reason, that it will be different and it will show like Muslim pride in New York City that close to ground zero?
Absolutely. Not only is it a very large building, but with that distinct design, if you look in that area, that's the first thing you're going to see.
15 seconds.
Okay. No, okay. Going on to what he said before about the mosque that was pre-built there, do you feel that it's essentially different because it wasn't, like at the time that it was built, it wasn't anywhere like a memorial or anything?
Exactly. I mean, this mosque was not. This mosque was there before the attacks. This new mosque that's being built, or community center again, as we keep referring to it as, is just a slap in the face to these families. You don't need that. You don't need a mosque in the 200 mosques that already exist in New York State alone. You don't need any new places of worship, especially by ground zero.
Okay, the speaker's time has expired.
Motion to extend the speaker's time.
Can I extend You can suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Is there a second?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion to extend speaker's time.
Aye.
Second. By 45 seconds.
Second.
A minute.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Eco.
Okay.
Speaker.
Would the speaker agree that the fact that there was already a mosque there, even though it was built, or 1 block away, even though it was built before the towers, that now afterwards it's unnecessary to build another mosque there? I mean, like you said, going back to the point of freedom of religion, that nothing should be built there, there was over 1,200 Christian people killed and Catholic people killed in the bombing of 9/11, so if they're not worried about rebuilding the church, why are we worried about rebuilding a mosque? I mean, I don't think we're...
Okay, so let me answer both those questions. One, with that mosque that's already existing, that guy, the guys working there are probably like, yo, where are all my followers? Like, I this honeycomb mosque. I mean, come on. I thought they were loyal to me. Second, I believe that if there were to be anything built, anything religious, I think that you should respect all of the religions. That there should be a synagogue, there should be a church, there should be anything dealing with any of the religions. But again, they should not be anywhere close to ground zero. And those religious places should be in honor of the people who died.
You said that we should be respectful to all religions. Isn't that disrespectful to the Muslims if you are not letting them build their mosque?
Our Constitution gives us the freedom of religion. It doesn't give us the freedom to build, so that's not disrespectful.
Do you think it would possibly be dangerous to build this mosque? Do you think people would be upset about it?
Absolutely.
Do you think people would go there and legit
Before the mosque,
Yes.
before the mosque even was built, when the idea was given, there was a day that they were going to dedicate to burn the Quran. Just imagine when this mosque is built, if it does get built. Imagine how, God forbid, or any, God forbid, God forbid that somebody's time. What? I know, I'm trying. God forbid that anybody gets hurt. And that's all I have to say.
The speakers have to be inspired.